Ahead, the shortest stage of the race so far, 250 miles across the Irish Sea, back to the world-famous Albert Dock and the waiting crowds in Liverpool. And with only 3.5 points separating the top two boats and 10 points available for a race win, the final podium positions are still to be decided. Out on the water, a reflective mood reigns as the boats make their way towards the start line. For the first time in nearly a year, the end is finally within touching distance.
Time to go home. It's been a great journey, but it's been a long journey and it's time to go home.
This was always about sailing around the world as an adventure. The fact that we're competitive and have a chance to win the overall thing is beyond any expectation that I ever had. I think being on the dock in Liverpool when we arrived there, it's going to be very emotional. It's emotional now.
In fresh summer winds, the final stage of the Clipper 07-08 Round the World Yacht Race begins.
3, 2, 1.
Thousands of miles of ocean racing, day after day of fine-tuning. The crews have got to know their boats well over the last year. Where once 10 yachts lined up at race start with teams apprehensive and worried, now a fleet of experienced ocean racers execute tried and tested routines as yet another start line fades into the distance behind them. The Clipper Round the World Yacht Race has tested the crews every step of their epic voyage. And as the home straight opens up before them, the business of yacht racing begins again for the last time. For the crew of overall leaders New York, race 14 is a chance to cement their position at the top of the fleet. But with Hull and Humber snapping at their heels, the final few miles could turn out to be the most crucial of all.
This last race is the whole round the world standings for a couple of boats, including New York. I tried to sleep this afternoon off watch, and it's impossible. The anxiety level is so high. Everything we do is so critical that I think we'll pretty much be awake for the 40 or so hours it takes for this race to finish up. But it's never been more intense than just trying to wrap this up on a positive note.
Every decision, every manoeuvre could decide the overall outcome of the race. The miles tick by in slow motion. For the crew of Liverpool 08, the home stretch has finally arrived. But for 55-year-old IT consultant Paul Scannell, the end of the race holds many mysteries.
Fear about going into the unknown, going back to a situation where I don't have a house, I don't have a job, but I don't have any worries, so it's quite a good way to be. It's definitely something I've learned from the last 9.5 months, is that your life needs challenges, and you just get on with them, and usually you just overcome them. Which I think I was kind of drifted for about the last 5 years, but now I know there's much more to life, and I just want to go out and just find out what's there.
It will be a poignant moment too for 19-year-old student Will Little. His first sight of English soil will be the town he calls home.
I can still vividly remember leaving Liverpool, seeing all my mates waving at me, seeing my mum and dad and going past that start kind of as though it was yesterday. But then I think how many places I've been in this last 10 months and how many things have happened, how many different things I've done. Scary, in a sense.
On board Canadian entry Nova Scotia, the miles towards the finish drift by in the sunshine. Watch leader Mel King is soaking it up while she still can.
I've loved every minute of it, absolutely loved it. Right here, right now, the sun shining, helming with the spinnaker up. There's nowhere else I'd rather be right now. Obviously, I hadn't done much sailing at all, so it's been a massive learning curve and a challenge as well. The physical challenges of putting up with the heat, the cold, everything that Mother Nature can throw at you, really.
For 35-year-old marketing manager Mel, like many of the Clipper crew, the race has been a turning point.
I gave up my job to do this, and I know that I can't go back to a desk job, so somehow and somewhere I would like to carry on sailing.
Beyond the finish line in Liverpool, Mel's new life awaits. On board Uniquely Singapore, a more reflective mood prevails. For 38-year-old Ian Herbert Jones, the end of the race comes with mixed emotions.
Very excited to be going home and seeing everybody again. And a little bit of regret and sadness for sort of leaving the boat, of just finishing this. It's been a way of life for 10 months. So it's kind of strange to give that up and go off and go back to your old life. I think over the next sort of few weeks you start to appreciate just what we've done, and hopefully you start to appreciate everyone you've missed while you've been away as well. And I'm looking forward to what comes next, really. Put this behind me, tick it off the list, and look forward to life as it comes now.
It's an emotional moment for the crews, but the end of their journey is also the end of the skippers.
It's a bit of a relief to get around without any major incidents, no injuries, and keeping everyone safe has been a priority for me, really. So to be able to do that and get around the world is a great success for us, really. The crew is like having children. I sometimes struggle just to go to sleep. If anything goes wrong, I'll kick myself if I'm asleep if something happens wrong, and that's been the hardest thing.
All across the fleet, the final miles tick thoughtfully by. On board New York, however, time to reflect will have to wait. Sail change after sail change, skipper and crew battle hard to stay ahead of the pack and the ever-present threat of rivals, Hull and Humber.
Lots of changes going on the watch. We started off, we were just ahead of Hull and Humber, but just behind Durban. Hull and Humber blew past us. Don't know quite why, but it got past us. Then we both went past Durban, so we were still in second. Then the winds went light. Once we put up the lightweight spinnaker, now we managed to go past both Durban and Hull and Humber, so at least temporarily we're back in the lead again.
But with such a short race course, the boats remain tightly packed. It's a tense, stressful time.
Hold it, whoa, in the pool. Don't go any further. Stand by and bring it back. Stop there. Stop in the main. Bear away, main out. Main out. Pull back. Stop in the pool. Easy shit out. Stop in the pool. Stop. Whoa, hey, Kate, ease out, will you? Ease. Pull back. Holding. Pull back.
Inch by inch, the battle rages. Who will take line honours in Liverpool?